Hello folks, this is Solo once again. You're listening to a video for Teamfight Tactics. This is taken from a normal game. As usual in normal games, you get kind of a odd spread of different players. Apparently I've rolled someone who's in Grandmaster and ranked play into this game. And in this video we're going to be looking at a team composition that I've played in earlier patches, which is a team composition based around rerolling for Varus and other Astral units, and also stacking the Mystic trait. In fact, stacking to very high levels of the Mystic trait in this game, but we'll have to get there to see more of it. Alright, so this game is from the most recent version of Teamfight Tactics. This game goes through patches like people change their socks, but this particular version it seems to be relatively stable. For once, the development team did not make that many changes. They made a decent number of changes for like a different game, but by Teamfight Tactics standards, they made a relatively small number of changes. And so the overall balance is pretty much the same as it was in the previous patch. It's like kind of a nice breath of fresh air that they didn't reset every single thing in the game with a new patch. But mostly the same comps that are strong are the same comps that were strong before. Previously, the metagame was being defined by people playing into Jade and also people playing into Corki. And so in this version, those are still two of the stronger comps. They've kind of been joined by people playing Mirage, specifically playing to the Mirage Dragon Deja. So they've kind of been joined by that, and those are kind of the three most popular team comps. But if anything, the Mirage plus Deja is maybe a little bit stronger than the Jade team comps and the team comps that play through Corki. Of course, there's other stuff that's viable. In particular, if you can get to the 10-cost dragons, they are a very strong option, all of them. Aurelion Sol, Alshin, and Shyvana, although the Aurelion Sol has been scaled back quite a bit. Now you actually have to 2-star it for it to be strong. So those are still definitely options, but getting to them can always be kind of tricky. Playing through the 8-cost dragons tends to be a little bit more consistent because it's easier to reach them. And even if you don't win the lobby, you're more likely to top 4. All right, so as far as what I'm doing right here, I was trying to figure things out, and then I get the early Sylas drop here, and I also got an early Nami, so I was thinking, I probably should look to play mages, but I was like, but at the same time, maybe I play like the Swift Shot version of a mage's board here. Like if I can find a Varus, I could play Varus to get an Astral unit in, and then I could look to go in that direction. I do have the I have the item for a Giant Slayer here, and I don't quite have a team comp. Like I'm putting these items on a Senna who has none of her traits in, which is not especially good. I've also taken Second Wind and the Mirage variant's Electric Overload. So I thought maybe do I want to go in that direction, but no, I don't think so. I don't think I really have to start for that. So I am going to look to end up playing into Varus, but I'm going to be playing into the Mage's variation of Varus, and this is a viable setup that you can do. You can do a version of this with Corki as well, but basically you play Sylas as your main frontliner, and then you add 2 other mages to go along with him. With Varus on the board, and I actually get another Sylas here, which is quite nice. With Varus on the board, you'd want to play Nami because that'll get you Astral. And then you play Varus plus Nami plus usually Alawi for your 3rd Astral unit. And then for your mages, you're playing Sylas, who's a bruiser, compare with Alawi. You're playing Nami, and then you need another mage. And who that other mage is can vary. Heimerdinger often in the early game because he's easy to find, and he's also a unit that can get trainer in play potentially if you're able to play together with Lulu, or in the late game if you haven't stacked up Namzi or you just want another mage. If you can find a Zoe, then that can be quite nice as well. So you'd have Sylas plus Nami and then plus Zoe for the 3 mages, and that's mostly so Sylas will just double cast so he gets his shield off. Because you're mostly relying on Sylas for your front line. So it's a bit of an odd board. It's definitely not a meta composition right now by any means. You kind of would want to high roll to play this. However, I had some of the pieces for it in this game. I kind of have everything except the Varus right now, and then another +1 mage. I have a Vlad on my bench who could go in. And that Vlad would be pretty nice because he would get me both mage and Astral trait onto my board right now. So I'm just kind of chilling here, hoping I can find a Varus, and then hoping I can play this. I was kind of playing it in part, not even so much because my board was amazing or anything like that, but because I wanted to get a chance to test this out. In the data right now, Playing through Varus, playing a 3-star Varus, it's not really a thing. Like, you can play it, but you kind of have to hit early. You definitely should not try forcing this, and I kind of am forcing it in this game just because I wanted to test it out, see how it felt. It definitely does not feel strong enough to be something that you want to be forcing. All right, now in this round, I'm up against someone who has taken Built Different. This is, by the way, the Grandmaster player from the loading screen. They've taken Built Different to start out, and they've also leveled early to level 5. So they are looking to win streak early here and put pressure on the lobby, which is what you'd expect of an experienced player. And oh boy, are they doing that right now, because with that Built Different plus 5 units, they just absolutely run right over my board. And I take 10 damage on 2-3. So again, you see this is what you do if you have a really strong opener. It can be valuable to level early just so you can start putting pressure on the lobby. And, you know, if you're dealing 10 damage to people as opposed to people taking like 2 damage, 4 damage, etc., you're shortening the pace of the game. You're taking health out of everybody's I don't know what to call it, out of everybody's back pocket. And so, as mentioned, you are shortening the game overall and putting pressure on the rest of the lobby. And this is very common to see as people go up the ladder and you play better people. You see people who get to be very good at doing this, pushing tempo and so on and so forth. Anyway, here, so there's not really any AD item that I particularly want here, so I'm going to go ahead and just make a Sunfire Cape. There's also a Vladimir that I can play that'll put Mage and Astral trait in, so I still have this random Senna that's holding an item that I want to put on Varus later on. And otherwise, now I at least have Astral and Mage on the board. So Silas will double cast, Nami will double cast, etc. All 1-stars and 4 pairs. So, not exactly high rolling the opener here with 4 pairs of units. But by the same token, I definitely don't want to roll here. That would be a mistake. I was also trying to reposition at the last minute for some of these comps. But unfortunately, I repositioned in the wrong place. And Senna ends up being right next to this Olaf. But this actually turns out not to be the worst thing because Nami's going to heal Senna, and then I'm going to get the second wind heal. So Senna ends up surviving, and she actually gets her cast off sooner because she's taking damage. Remember, units gain mana by attacking, but they also gain mana by taking damage. So Senna actually gets her cast off sooner. And I think I win that fight if Senna's on the left-hand side, but it actually played in my favor because Senna goes low but does not actually die. All right, here, again, I'm still just kind of like waiting here. I'm like, this is not really what I'm looking for. I also have the option to, I'll pick up the Trist because that can be a trainer option as well if I would find Heimerdinger or Lulu. But I don't think I'm going to play too heavily into trainer trait. Like, I'll pick it up if I need it, but I don't think that that's really a big focus in this game. You can see a lot of people looking like they're playing Corki. So I was like, I was like, do I pivot into Corki here? I was kind of like, a lot of people look like they're playing Corki. I don't know if that's the board I want to look to go into, just based on how many people are running that. So I am not especially strong here. I'm just trying to make my way through, build up gold so that I can hit a point where I can actually roll and try to find units. I am getting good value from second win. I actually got really good value there because some of my backline units had gotten chipped down by Heimer, and then they get the second wind heal. But that said, can I actually win this round? I don't remember what happened in every round since I played this game either, so it's actually a surprise to me watching this too. Or does Rise just scale up and kill everything? Either outcome is possible here, but it looks like Senna got off a good cast. Okay. So I am able to win that one. So I win 4 out of 5 rounds. Unfortunately, the sequencing is really lousy for me here because I won 2, and then I hit the built different player who was already level 5, and then I won 2. So that's the worst possible pattern for sequencing. Literally any other pattern would have been better. Would have been nice to hit that built different player on the very first round and then have 4 wins in a row, but can't always control that. Mostly I was able to win those rounds just because I had an early Silas. And he's a good unit to have up on the front line to start out. I said this before, but mage boards typically want to build through Silas. It's more important to get an early Silas than to get an early Rise if you're going to be playing mages, because mage comps are basically stall comps. Anyway, so what do we have here? I'm going to get a bow and a glove, and then, champion duplicator. All right, well, I have the option to make a Last Whisper if I want, but I don't think I want to slam that overall. And I'm still just kind of waiting here. We'll put the bow on Senna. Still have 4 pairs, but I don't quite want to roll just yet. And then look at this. This person who's playing into Corki and has gone for, they have combat training, I think. So like the units gain AD over time. They've gone 6 and rolled down to 0 gold. So I'm kind of hoping I'll hit one of the other players here. I'm not going to go 6 and try to beat this player right now. There's no point in leveling early, but yeah, the good news is I don't have to hit that person. I'm hitting a much weaker person who's also playing. And it looks like they want to play into some kind of mage composition because look at the items on Trist. These are not Tristana items, so I'm assuming that they're just running Trist as a temporary item holder as they try to go towards, I don't know, some kind of dragon. Like they have the items for a Rage Blade, which surely they would have made if they were serious about playing Trist long term. But Senna's going to get the Trist down to like 5 HP, and then we'll finish it off. And it looks like I'm going to be able to win this one too. So I was, again, very glad I did not hit the person that was level 6-0 gold. And actually re-rolling it as well. So that player, Kakub, is super strong now, but is likely to fall off as the game goes on. All right, a couple different options here. Earth Scrap Bag, but I'm not really looking to make anything with the Spatula. Bruiser Crest preparation. I was like, I guess I can play Bruiser Crest. That would let me play 4 Bruisers. That sounds okay. So like I'll just, level here, put in the Shen, and then put Bruiser Crest on somebody, and then that gets me into... I actually put in the Lulu. Okay, I should put in the Shen for 4 Bruisers, and then put the Bruiser Crest on somebody. All right, so I'm going to roll here, get the Astral Shop. So now I can finally ditch this ditch this stupid unit that I don't care about, the Senna. And now I can put in the Shen. And now I just need another mage. I actually need to get Vlad back in so I can get 3 mages back in. That's actually pretty important. So I think Lulu needs to come out for right now. Lulu's giving me Mystic, but it's more important to have mages. And there we go. There we go. I put in the Heimer. Could have Heimer in, could have Vlad in, either way. So now let's put items on the Varus, and now I need to put my Bruiser Emblem on someone. And I was like, Nami here. You can take this. I don't want it on Varus. Rather have it on the 2-star Nami, who has a decent chance of being 3-starred. That seems like a more useful unit to have this on. So this should be decent for the time being. Like, not amazing, but should be decent. So, we'll look to play 4 Bruiser, 3 Mage, 3 Astral. As I said, this is definitely not a meta composition right now. And I'm not convinced that this is really all that strong either. But as I said, I wanted to give it a try. Wanted to see how it would play out. You would definitely want to have 2-star Varus at this stage of the game. I think that 2-star Varus probably wins this fight. But I do not have 2-star Varus, so I end up losing that fight. And that brings my modest win streak to a close. But this is a big hit. Hitting 2-star Silas is actually a really big deal. He is my primary frontliner because he's got that mage trait. And I'm actually going to let units clump up on him. That's why I moved back the Shen and the Skarner. I want enemy units to clump up on this guy. So now that I have kind of this core stuff in, I will look to go... I'm going to try to get up to level 7. And then on 7, I'm going to try to roll and hit at least Varus 2-star if I haven't hit it before that. But ideally hit Varus 3. Try to get Varus 3-star, find Alawi to replace Skarner. Start working towards Varus 3-star, Alawi 3-star, Nami 3-star. All of these units have been heavily nerfed from earlier in the set. I did quite a few Varus games earlier in the set where he was a very, very strong unit. I actually had a lot of success running him in ranked games, but there was the big patch that nerfed AD on all of the 3-star units, and that really, really hurt Varus because he needs to be 3-starred if he's going to be the main carry. And they cut his damage by like 25% at 3-star, just a humongous cut to his damage. Nami has also been nerfed a lot. In fact, this patch that I'm playing on right now, one of the biggest changes was they nerfed Nami's damage and her healing such that now Nami 3-star is kind of where Nami 2-star used to be. Yeah, that's kind of a brutal nerf. You have to get Nami 3-star just to get back to where the old 2-star was. So she's eaten a lot of nerfs over time as well. And I don't think they've touched Alawi, but like those are 2 of the key units in this comp. So Nami and Varus both getting hit pretty hard. Not exactly great. Anyway, I'm actually 3rd pick here, and the good news is both of those people who are win streaking have taken losses. So no, they were both win streaking on 100 HP, but now they've both lost. So that's a good news for the rest of the lobby, that these people are not going to be as strong as they were before. I'm going to go ahead and grab the rod for Rage Blade. Rage Blade is absolutely mandatory on Varus. There's always different items that like you might want to build on a champ, or like, you can kind of flex around certain ones. This one is not really optional. You need to be playing, you need a Rage Blade on Varus. He has to scale up over the course of the fight. He's entirely auto-attack based, except for when he throws out his Chain of Corruption. He does not have like AD scaling on an ability, not like Xayah, whose feathers scale off for AD, or Corki, who missiles scale off his AD. He's just auto-attacks. Varus just does his damage via auto attacks. So it's extremely important that he stack up attack speed. You might also notice what I'm missing in this comp. Where is another Swift Shot? Yeah, you're not seeing one. Normally you'd want to play another Swift Shot here. Typically Twitch, because Twitch has Armor Shred on his ability. But I have not really seen Swift Shots in this game. And in fact, I'm also not sure what I would take out in order to play a Swift Shot either. So like, what exactly would I take out here? I can't take out a mage. I don't want to lose 3 mages. I don't want to lose 4 bruisers. I wouldn't be playing 4 bruisers, but since I got +1 from the augment, that's going to be necessary. And I need to keep Astral in. I need to keep 3 Astral to run the Astral shop. So I just don't know what I would take out to put a Swift Shot unit in. It's like, would putting in, there's an Ashe and an Ezreal in the store. Would playing one of these units really help me that much? I don't think so. Swift Shot 2 does not provide that much of a benefit in terms of attack speed. So now I do have the Rage Blade. Now I did hit 2-star Varus. So he's going to be a little weak in terms of attack speed. But until I can get to a higher level, I just don't see myself playing another Swift Shot unit in here. I'm well aware that I do not have Swift Shot trait in. But as I said, I just don't know what I would take out to play a Swift Shot unit. Alrighty here, so I was hoping I would not hit the person on 94 HP. That's the built different board. Fortunately, I managed to avoid that. So I'm hitting someone who's also level 6. And I think this board is, well, it's a lot weaker than that. Whether I can beat this one, it's hard to say. They do have a Rise, and Rise scales up super hard over the course of the fight. Also had the bad luck to have Varus get stunned by one of the Heimerdinger little, I don't know what to call them, little grenades that he shoots out. So anytime Varus is not DPSing, that's a bad sign. So it's like, it probably looks like I win this, but anytime Rise has like Gunblade plus Archangels, you know he's going to be scaling up super duper hard. So yeah, that Archangel has 7 stacks and he's going to win that eventually. Just not enough damage to cut through the front lines just yet. And I really did feel the effects of the Varus nerfs there. Like, Varus would have won that fight in earlier patches. Even as a 2-star unit, like, he would have had enough damage to win that fight, but it just has been nerfed over time and is not the unit that he once was after having all these nerfs. So I was really getting the sense up to this point in time in the game, it's like, yeah, you know, this Varus, like, it's okay. Like, if you high roll it, you can play it, but you're probably not going to win the lobby. It is probably more of a top 4 comp, and should not go out of your way to play this, even though I kind of was going out of my way to play it in this game. All right, well, look what I get here. I actually get a Tome of Trait, so that's kind of nice. And there's another Varus there. So now I want to go to level 7. I actually have not leveled yet, so let's go ahead and do that. And now I definitely want to roll. This is standard if you're going to be playing Varus. Lulu is quite big for me because it puts Mystic Trait in and Trainer Trait, although Namzi is incredibly weak at this point in time. Namzi has 200 HP and it's stage 4. I'm really playing Lulu for Mystic, not for Namzi right now. Oh, I actually thought I was going to roll here. Okay. Oh, you know what it was? I decided I want to wait 1 round and then pull the Tome of Traits, and then I'll decide what to do after that. So I needed to wait one round to see what I pulled from the Tome of Traits, but I did not feel that I was particularly strong here. And in fact, Silas is going to die before he can get off a second cast and before my second wind augment procs. So that's kind of bad. He's just dying too quickly right now. The Silas is not being able to tank, and then once the tank line gets broken through, it's not good for me. So like, I have 4 bruisers, I have 2 mystic, but like, my front line's not holding up here. Really nice Chain of Corruption, or Chain of Constellations, I think it's called, but it's not going to be sufficient. And at this point, I was like, yeah, I think I need to roll to get stronger here. So, all right, what do I want here? I was like, I don't really like any of these. Oh, Cybernetics. Okay, I actually get all 3 Cybernetic options. So now I'm going to pull the Tome of Traits. And I was like, oh, Mystic Emblem. Okay. Could also pull another Bruiser Emblem and look to play 6 Bruisers, which would be a possibility too. But I was like, all right, I think this works. Mystic Emblem gives 150 health, so let's just put it on one of these units. And now we need to roll, because I'm not strong enough right now. So we want to try to roll, make use of our Astral Shops, see if we can find more Varuses. And oh, there's a Bard here. Okay. Okay. I was like, well, I have to play Bard. I have to play the 1% Bard. I was like, wait, what do I take out? What do I take out? I was like, well, I can take out Lulu. Do I want to take out Lulu, or I could take out the Shen and drop down to just 3 Bruisers and then put this on Scar. I was like, all right, I'm going to do this. I want to get 4 Mystic in. So here's the mystical part, the mystical journey part of this setup here. I was like, all right, no, I want to get 4 Bruise. I want to get 4 Mystic in. 4 Mystic is going to deliver just ridiculous amounts of magic resistance. So it's going to make me almost invulnerable against magic damage, but I am going to be very vulnerable to physical damage and true damage, I suppose, if anyone happens to have true damage on their boards. But so 4 Mystic actually gives every unit 175 magic resistance, 175 MR. That's pretty good here. So I am not taking much damage from that Pike. Pike ability deals magic damage, and I'm going to be able to win this round. This other player seems to be in some serious difficulty, but I still think I want to roll and try to hit Varus 3-star. I'm very close. One more Astral Shot should probably do it. All right, there's another Silas. I'll hold that. There's 6 Namis, and then, there we go. Okay, well, that wasn't so bad. And I'm also going to get up to 8 Namis here as well. So I do have the Champion Duplicator. I was like, do I use this on Nami? And I was like, no, I don't think I use this on Nami. I don't think so. So I'm pretty sure I can get another Nami from another Astral Shop. So now that I've got the Varus 3-star, I should be stable here. Let's go to level 8, and let's put another Bruiser back in so we can get back up to 4 Bruisers. And then we'll probably roll an 8 to try to 3-star the Nami and see if we can find some more Alaois. But 3-star Varus hopefully should stabilize me. Again, he is not what he once was, but hopefully he stabilizes me. Also, having Bard in this early is going to be great. Bard's going to increase those shop odds, make it higher odds to find the 4-cost and 5-cost, and the 3-cost units as well, although I'm more interested in the 4 and the 5-cost units. And yeah, so hopefully now I'm stable. I've got this weird 4 Mystic board, 4 Mystic, 3 Mages, Varus with no Swift Shot. It's definitely an unusual setup here. And, oh, well, what do we have here? There's a Bard on this carousel. Well, that's 2-star Bard with a Champion Duplicator, if I can get that. I would not be opposed to grabbing that. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go grab this Bard, but nope, someone else takes it. So I'm like, all right, well, if I can't get Bard, I'll grab this sword. I'll finish itemizing the Varus. Would 100% have taken 2-star Bard this early in the game. That Bard would be doing an awful lot of work if that were an option, but it's not. So I've got this glove on my bench. So let's go ahead and we'll finish itemizing the Varus. We'll put an Infinity Edge on him, and that should be pretty good. And then, oh, well, we suck out anyway. There's another Bard in the shop. So we're just going to Nico the Bard, and now we have 2-star Bard, just like that on 4-5. Not as good as hitting like a 2-star Yasuo or like a 2-star Alshin or a 2-star Shyvana, but I mean, I'll take it. That's still a very, very good unit. Bard is going to put that debuff on the enemy team so that they all take additional damage whenever they get hit. So my frontline situation is not great. Remember, I do have Cybernetics here, so I do get Cybernetics value. It gives me a little bit of extra health and a little bit of extra physical damage, but I definitely need to improve my frontline situation right now. I have like all this utility stuff in my comp because I have, you know, the Lulu and the Nami and the Bard. Like I said, I've got all this utility. Like, look at that Bard ultimate. Jeez, he puts that debuff on the enemy team. So all those units get frozen in place, and I think they take like 20% additional damage. I'll have to look it up here in a second. So you get a great Bard ultimate. Is that going to be enough to beat this Olaf player? Looks like it is. This person is playing like Guild Olaf. And by the way, I have to thank them for rolling for 3-star Olaf, 3-star Diana, and taking those units out of the pool, making it easier to hit them. All right, so now I am just going to move out of the Skarner, and I'm going to move into the Alawi. And now I'll put the Mystic Emblem on Alawi, so she gets the Cybernetics value, and we keep 5 Mystics in. But now it's like, oh, wait, I actually don't have another unit to put in on level up. I'm hoping to play Ornn, but I probably should have held the Shens that I had earlier in that case. All right, well, anyway, so just keeping an eye out on the other teams I want to be up against here. It's the last round before a minion round, so I'd really like to win this one. And I was like, oh no, this person has a rocket-propelled fist. Oh no, Varus gets grabbed, but then look at this, boop! Then the Lee Sin is going to kick him right back out of the middle of my team. I was like, okay, well that actually went really well. So the rocket fist pulls Varus into the middle of the team, and then Lee Sin kicks him out of the team again. Pretty wild stuff. Anyway, Giant Slayer is getting an awful lot of value here against like the Volibear and the Idis. And as it turns out, that board's mostly magic damage, and we've got 4 Mystic in, so we are not going to be taking much damage from that guy. All right, so now I need to find stuff. I really need defensive items here, so that's what I'm looking for. I also have this leftover rod that I can try to do something with. Like, this is not really what I'm looking for. And again, this is a little bit better. I was like, do I want this? I was like, I don't know. And then I see this, and I was like, all right, this is probably okay. And hey, we naturaled the Nami 3-star too. Very, very nice. So now I just need to level up. There's a Shen in the store, so I'm going to grab that. And now I just need to level up and put these items on. So I definitely want to make the Gargoyle Stoneplate. And then now I've got a redemption. I was like, do I put that on someone in the back lines for cybernetics, or do I put it on a frontliner? I was like, I will go ahead and put the rod on Bard for cybernetics value. And then I think I end up putting this on Silas just to make Silas a little bit tankier. I wish I could put this on Namzi to make Namzi tankier, but you can't put items on Namzi, of course. So that's not going to work. So I'll just put it on Silas. It does give him a little bit of extra health. The issue, though, is I'm solo frontlining Silas, and I don't think that he is strong enough to solo frontline at this stage of the game. Some of these other boards are just a little bit too powerful right now for me to do that. And I think I belatedly realized that after this particular combat round. And then I decided I think I need to put someone else up on the front line with him, because even with the Gargoyle Stoneplate, he cannot tank the entire enemy team. He just takes too much damage too quickly, and I believe that I see that in this particular round. So this is the person who has been running combat training. They are level 7, 0 gold, so they're like basically maxed out. They're as strong as they're going to get, but they're pretty strong right now. And like Silas gets his cast off, but he dies right before second wind would have kicked in. And that was disappointing because he was about to get the heal for like 70% of his health, but he just dies slightly too fast. And so even though I get a really nice Bard ultimate in this fight, frontline just doesn't quite hold up long enough. And Corky's going to punch through and finish this off. And this was when I was like, yeah, okay. So solo frontlining Silas is not working. I need to bring Alawi up onto the front lines as well here. So I believe I'm going to look to do that here. Look at Bard. 24% increased damage when stunned. And I need 44 to level, so I can level here at the cost of my whole econ. So I'm going to do that. But this brings 4 bruisers in play. It's going to give me that extra health. So yeah, now I'm looking. We're actually down to just 5 players in the lobby right now. The built different player is looking pretty strong. They have multiple Corkies. And oh, look at this. The Olaf player has managed to hit Olaf 3-star and Diana 3-star. So those units also much weaker than they once were. Much weaker than they were in maybe like a month or 2 ago. They were also negatively affected by having all the damage of 3-star units get cut. But they're still pretty strong. And once again, you see what happens. Solo frontline Silas gets punched through way too quickly. And as soon as that happens, I'm just like, oh, I'm just getting absolutely run over here. This is not good enough frontline. And I cannot have Silas take all the damage. I need to put more people up on the front lines. But that did not go well, unfortunately. And there's two people right now on a ton of HP. So anyway, this Astral store has 4 Alawis in it, and that makes a big difference. I go from 3 up to 7, so now I have a realistic chance of 3-starring this unit. And I will also go ahead and do what I've been teasing for the last 2 rounds, and belatedly put Alawi up on the front line as well. So hopefully Silas will not tank aggression from every single person at once now. And I'm going to reposition over to the right-hand side because I think I might be up against the person who's playing Olaf. I am up against the person playing Olaf. And they're actually going to Zephyr out my Silas, which is not amazing. I am at least positioned in the correct side. The Varus is not getting jumped on by Diana and Olaf. The Frozen Heart on Talon is not exactly great, but at least we're focusing Olaf. Still, that attack speed cut is doing so much work. That Frozen Heart, really a pain in this fight right now. So everybody's going to come over here and try to focus on Varus. Really nice Bard ultimate, though. So that's going to be enough to defeat almost everything, but hell, there's a Bramble Vest on that Diana, so that's not going to work. That's not going to work, unfortunately. So I'm going to lose that round, and I'm on 21 HP, and I've actually been struggling here in these rounds. So I was like, am I just going to get knocked out of the lobby here? I don't know. But then I see something on this carousel. I was like, oh, there's a Mystic Emblem on this carousel. Another Mystic Emblem on this carousel. So I am going to grab this, and we're going to go up to 5 Mystic in this lobby. 5 Mystic. All right. So 5 Mystic is 300 magic resistance for everyone on your team. 300 MR. If you're unfamiliar with the way the armor and magic resistance formulas work in this game, they are carried over from default League of Legends. By the way, there's an ASOL on the shop, but I can't play it. So how do they work? Well, basically, the damage is the way the formula works is you take the raw damage that's incoming, and then you multiply it by by 100 over 100 plus the armor or MR value. So 100 over 100 plus whatever the armor or MR is. So let's say you have, 50 MR, right? So that would be 100 divided by 100 plus 50, so 100 over 150. So you take the incoming damage, multiply it by that, that's 2/3. So the damage would be cut by 33%. If you have, I'm sorry if this is getting into too much math, but if you have 50 MR, you take 33% reduced damage. Well, let's see what happens when we go up to 300 MR on every single unit on my board. Look at this ASO ult, and wait, did that ult do anything? No, it just tickled my entire team. So the ASO was ascended and it ulted and just nothing happened, which is just hilarious. So again, if we have 300 MR, it's 100 over 100 plus 300, so that's 100 over 400, so that's 25%. So we take 75% reduced damage from all magic damage. So, you know, if an attack does 1,000 damage, it does 250 instead. It gets cut by 75%. That is ridiculous. So that ASO ult, you know, instead of hitting the whole board for, I don't know, 800 damage, it hits the whole board for 200 damage. So that just doesn't really do anything. And it means that my team is incredibly tanky against anyone that's doing magic damage. The good news is most of these teams in the lobby are doing magic damage. We already saw that ASO player. Now this person is playing a more standard mages board. They're probably looking for a mage dragon and just haven't found it yet. They're probably trying to play Al Shin based on the items that Rise has right now. So yeah, I mean, I have just this crazy, crazy high magic resistance on my team. And I mean, like Rise is chopping through the front lines, but it's taking him so long to do it. Even with his Archangel staff, look how long it takes him. And so by the time he finally cuts through the team, it's already too late. In fact, most of the damage in that fight, I know that the little damage charts go by really, really fast. You can't get a good look at them. But when that one flashed by, most damage in the fight was done by Anivia. And it was mostly done by Anivia because Anivia had a Morello's. So it was mostly just the true damage from Morello. The magic damage, the stuff that actually can get affected by resistances, the magic damage just did very, very, very little to my board. So yeah, the mystical journey of Varus, 5 Mystic, pretty hard to get to this point. It's very difficult to get to 5 Mystic because there's only 4 Mystic units and one of them is Shiou. So it's hard to play, like, unless you're playing a Jade comp, it's hard to get up this high. You need at least one Mystic Emblem to hit 5, or something from an Augment to hit 5 Mystic. Or you have to be playing Shiou plus every other Mystic unit, which is not that common. Anyway, I'm going to happily slot in the Ornn here, and then I'm going to put my other units down. I'm going to put the Chalice on. I'm trying to get Cybernetics value on these items. So Lulu can now get the Chalice plus the Banshee's Claw to block 1 negative spellcast. And overall, now I've been able to put an item on just about every single one of my units. I guess Heimerdinger does not have one, but I am still hoping to replace Heimer with Zoe. I would happily make that replacement if I could find a Zoe in here. All right, so I'm feeling pretty good. My front line is a lot better. I would love to be able to 2-star Ornn, but I've only seen the one Ornn so far. And once again, look at this fight. This is just hilarious. We're up against the Aurelion Soul player again. I'm going to get a great Bard ult, but by the way, guess what? Bard ult does not actually apply Morello's. Yeah, that's kind of sad. But, you know, it's not as sad as this guy's Aurelion Soul ults. He's going to keep tossing these black holes. It's like, all right, Ascended, black hole, and did that do anything? It literally did nothing. You know, he's the Aurelion Soul's Ascended. He's got a death cap. It just does nothing at all. But yeah, so one of the things I discovered in this game is the Bard Ultimate does not apply Morello's. Just does not apply it at all. And the reason for that is an ability has to deal damage in order to apply Morello's. So you see I type it in the chat. Bard ult does not apply Morello's, sad face. I did not realize that. Bard's ult does not do any damage. He makes it so he stuns the units on the other team, and he increases the damage that your units do to whoever gets hit, but he does not actually do any damage at all himself, and so the Bard Ultimate will not apply Morello's. Anyway, so I knew I was going to be up against the Olaf Diana player here. So what do you do against an assassin board? You want to clump up in the corner. So I'm going to clump up here, and we're going to get a nice Bard ult that's going to freeze that Olaf. Also good second wind value here. This board is mostly physical damage. I guess Diana deals some magic damage. I guess Scale Scorn does some magic damage as well, just for having Scale Scorn trait in. So Mystic is useful here, but just like maybe not as much as in some other fights. We've got the Talon on top of Varus, but Varus has been in the corner the entire time. Is very nicely protected, so I'm going to win that round. And I'm going to knock out this player. So now we're down to just 3 of us, and now I can go back to more normal positioning. It's always kind of annoying if there's one person playing assassin in the lobby, because like you have to position for that comp, but then every other comp like just farms your board because you're so clumped up. But like if I was up against Aurelian Soul and I was that clumped up, it would not go well for me. I am up against the built different player though, and I am concerned about this board. I actually don't think this is an especially good matchup for me, but I'm going to do what I can to position here. Once again, I think that this is about as good as I can do. Ornn's well positioned, Alawi's well positioned. Bard should be able to hit a lot of this team. But they've got built different. They've got the target dummies. They have Ascension, so they're going to get much stronger over the course of the fight. And I just don't know about this matchup. Fortunately, Bard's ult is absolutely amazing. Hits like the entire enemy team. Everything except the double Corkies in the back lines. Namzi's actually getting off some good fireballs too, because I don't have a lot of anti-heal on my board. So this is actually turning into an extremely close fight. I'm hoping Bard can get off one more ult, and yes, he does. He hits the ult right before he dies, and then the Chain of Corruption comes out right before Corki can attack. So the CC train is perfect, and that's going to be enough for Varus to win this fight. So I was like, all right, let's go. Let's go. And in fact, the other person in the lobby actually quits the lobby right now. So now it's down to just 2 of us. And there is a Zoe here, but there's a Shroud on the carousel. I have to take this Shroud. It's so important. And well, that's unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. I really needed that, really needed that Shroud, because it's just so important for both of us to have that Shroud. I'm like, I guess at this point I try to get to level 9. I could roll, but what would I roll for? I guess I'm rolling for Ornn 2-star. I don't feel like that's good enough to roll. So I think the play here is let's try to get to 9. I'm going to have to win at least a couple rounds to beat this person. And yeah, look, they've got a drop-in Shroud. They have a drop-in Shroud, so I can't dodge it. They're going to have a position. They're going to have a unit ready to Shroud me no matter what. So if I can't dodge it, I'm not going to bother. I'm going to stick with good positioning and just hope for the best, but I'm not optimistic. They also went 9 and rolled on 9, and now they've also got an additional Yasuo in. Of course, the drop-in Shroud is perfect. As I said, I can't dodge the Shroud, so I'm not going to bother trying. And that Shroud, unfortunately, combined with them going to level 9 and being able to roll it down at level 9, has kind of flipped the math of this fight. It was a bit of a miracle that I won the last fight. I kind of needed the CC train to hit perfectly in order to win, and this fight is not going perfectly. So they're actually going to knock me out, and that's going to be the end of this game. But I honestly felt like I was pretty lucky to get second place in the first place. Yeah, it turns out that their built different comp is all physical damage, and whoops, 5 Mystic does not do anything against an all physical damage team. So, yep, couldn't do better than second place, but honestly, I think that that was a good result from this game. I don't think that reroll Varus is especially strong, so I don't really suggest playing this. It's definitely more of a top 4 comp than a win the lobby comp. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Till next time, take care, folks.